You're very welcome to another edition of the entertainment.ie movie show. This week we've got reviews of King Arthur and Snatched. We've got a competition to win 2 tickets to any Odeon cinema of your choosing. And we also, Brian Lloyd, have an exclusive interview with one Goldie, Hawn and Amy Schumer.
Woo.
I think we'll save the review for that film after the interview.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So in order to win the Odeon tickets, all you have to do is tell us who Goldie Hawn's extremely famous daughter is. She was in a bunch of romantic comedies in the noughties
with Matthew
McConaughey, and she's still super famous and kind of a celebrity type on the news all the time. So who is Goldie Hawn's famous daughter? Tell us below in the comments for a chance to win the 2 Odeon tickets, and we will announce the winner again on Monday afternoon, as always, in the comments. First up this week, what's been called the biggest bomb of all time?
Not of all time.
Not of all time.
Not of all time.
Hang on. Hang on. One of the biggest bombs of all time. It's going to lose $150 million at estimates. $175 million budget. It's projected to clear about $150 million worldwide. You generally need to make twice of your production budget.
Yeah.
So it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there amongst the top 5 bombs of all time. We might call that one of the biggest bombs of all time. Although it's still opened.
Mm-hmm.
True.
It could do quite well. That doesn't necessarily mean that a film is bad.
It doesn't, but
King Arthur we're talking about. Guy Ritchie, Charlie Hunnam. Jude Law.
Yeah, Jude Law, and you're right. That is true. Like, you look at something like Edge of Tomorrow, which was a film that did not do well.
It did okay though.
It did okay.
That's different.
Yeah, but
they're making a sequel.
But like, it was a really good film, but it just didn't. The box office didn't match up with the critical response to it. You know, This is a bad film. Like, I've seen this. I don't think there's any 2 ways to cut it. This is a bad film, right? Because they're very, very clearly setting it up for a franchise. And when they're doing that, what's happening is that, I don't know about you, because you saw it as well, didn't you? Mm-hmm. I personally felt that there was massive parts of this film that were left intentionally blank because they're going to reveal it in the next film, which won't happen now. Definitely won't happen now. And you're watching it, and it's like parts of it don't make sense. Parts of it aren't explained enough that you can get what's going on. And you're just kind of watching. It's like, I'm watching half a film here. I'm waiting for the next one for it to all make sense to me. You know, that kind of way?
Yeah.
And like, you can get away with that in the likes of like Batman versus Superman. I say get away. I'm saying you can just about get away with it because
people expect those Batman Begins type origin stories.
Yeah, and also as well the fact that people know, oh well, Batman, fights the Joker, and Superman is from Krypton and he's allergic to kryptonite or something. You can kind of know culturally that there's something coming. Whereas with King Arthur,
gets a sword from the stone.
Gets a sword from the stone. They cover all the major bits, like, he gets a sword from the stone, becomes the king, and then there's the round table. And like, literally, like, that's kind of it. But after that, no one really knows what's going to happen. Like, that sort of way.
So this is Guy Ritchie, obviously Snatch and Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, but he made 2 very successful Sherlock Holmes movies. So there's a precedent there for him to direct a film like this. You didn't dislike it as much as Brian.
No, I actually liked it slightly more than Brian, and I went to the Irish premiere of it on Sunday, and actually got a really good response from the crowd there. I have to say,
that's always interesting to see, isn't it? When you watch it with an audience.
I wonder if that's reflective of maybe you need kind of a big crowd and a sense of energy to like get into it, because people were laughing, they were oohing and stuff like this. So I personally thought that it worked. In Brian's review, he was talking about how it is what it is. It's basically a Guy Ritchie movie set in medieval times. Like, it's very, very much his style. Like Arthur and his friends are like gangsters who are working the streets. Yeah, so it's kind of like bizarre, but I actually found that like to be really, really funny, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. For me, where the weaknesses came in were when he was directing set pieces or like special effects sequences. They became just so muddled. I felt like he was more concerned with everything looking cool than being actually coherent, and that was kind of a big
is that a point with a film like this though, that it has the spectacle and the action sequences work, and you're saying the action in general didn't work?
For me it didn't, because I couldn't tell what the hell was going on. Like, the opening sequence is just a complete mess. They do kind of go on to explain it, but it almost felt like it was because they went back and watched it and they were like, hang on, no one is going to know what the hell is going on. We better write in some kind of scene that explains this. Because from what I've read, it has undergone like extensive rewrites.
It's supposed to come out a year ago. Yeah.
It was meant to come out a year ago. The original cut was like 3 hours long or something that they had to edit down. So it's, and you know, there have been like, you know, various casting issues as well. They eventually got Charlie Hunnam.
Who can't act.
I thought he was good. I liked him.
I was going to get to that next because the cast got Eric Bana as well.
Yeah.
Jude Law playing the villain. Obviously in the 2 Sherlock Holmes movies as well. And Charlie Hunnam in the lead role.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a huge amount of stuff. I haven't watched Sons of Anarchy, but I know people that are into it are really into it.
Yeah.
And what Charlie Hunnam did with 50 Shades of Grey was it took balls.
Yeah, Jesus.
You know, he backed out of a franchise that would have made him or given him the opportunity to make all of these other movies. Lost City of Zed.
It's meant to be very good.
It's supposed to be very good. It's supposed to be very, very good.
Yeah.
Nobody's seen it. Have you seen it?
I haven't. No.
Okay, so but apparently he's very good in that. But let's talk about him in King Arthur.
Yeah.
Why do you think he can't act? Or why do you think he's not good in this film?
Right. Well, I think as Dee was saying, the fact that for me anyway, like I know you found it funny. I found it really jarring and just really wrong. It just didn't work. The whole like.
Wrong.
No, it
just wrong.
It was wrong. Like the whole like gangsters and like Ward Governor and all this kind of stuff. Like it doesn't work in a medieval setting. Just doesn't. It looks out of place. And he was just the whole time I was watching him and his performance. Like he wasn't convincing. Like he didn't convince me as this kind of hard case gangster type. I couldn't really buy him.
He's a physically imposing.
Yeah,
he's physically imposing.
Steve's like, yeah, he looked great.
Yeah.
All of the muscles.
Yeah, he has his top off for half the film, so that's if you're into that, grand.
Half the film. Come on, Brian.
He does.
Were you intimidated by Charlie Hunnam's abs, Brian?
Not in the slightest. Not in the slightest. And this is the thing. Like, I get that he's supposed to be this like physically intimidating character. I personally didn't find him to be that at all. And like compared to when you put him up against Jude Law, who was hamming it up in this film, but doing it really well, like doing it very like kind of Alan Rickman and Robin Hood, you know, that kind of way, really kind of like over the top but very funny kind of thing. You could just see there was a gap in talent, you know, that kind of between where Jude Law,
who's, I mean, I'm not.
He's a very strong actor. You can't deny that. Like.
We'll move on.
Okay, so.
He does play a lot of his roles the same way. That is one thing I would say for him.
I don't know. I think he's a charismatic guy. I think he's been decent in some films. I think he was fine as Watson in the Sherlock Holmes movies.
Yeah.
He's not a lead man for me. Anyway, we'll move on. But in summary, Brian, you gave it how many stars did you give it?
I gave it 2 stars.
2 stars. We're not a fan.
No, I mean, it's just, there's too much going on. It's too messy. It's too all over the place. Charlie Hunnam didn't work. Yeah, like there's a reason why it only opened to something like 14 million in the US.
What about you? You were kind of fine with it.
I'd give it closer to 3 stars, I'd say. I mean, I think that the main thing is going to be whether, you know, you believe the Guy Ritchie medieval setting.
If you buy into that kind of setting and have a bit of crack with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it.
Okay, we'll move on to Brian Lloyd's interview. Exclusive Irish interview with Goldie Hawn and with Amy Schumer. Brian, set it up for us.
Amy Schumer slagged me off the minute I
You're
got
still going
to go on about that. I am never going to let that go.
Such a sensitive snowflake. Okay, here's the interview, guys, and we'll talk about the movie when we come back.
Did you want me to dress up?
Yes, everybody else in this town's wearing a three-piece suit.
knee-high boots.
Who are you to? I mean,
come on,
you're not even
man.
wearing a bra.
Well, like, my nipples. No, my nipples always come out in the shirt, so I'm always conscious of it.
I'll keep an eye.
Would you?
Just
Yes.
I'll tell
1
you.
and 2, just
Nothing
make sure.
we haven't seen
They're
before.
in right now. Turkeys are not done.
Good. Because it does happen.
Yeah,
in fairness.
I know it well.
Great, we're all clean. Thank you very much.
Great stuff. Amy, can I start off and ask you when you were?
What's it for?
What's what for?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Entertainment.ie is the website that I work for.
Okay, cool.
From Ireland.
You never know because we start doing an interview and then they're like asking
Oh,
really
yeah, that was
specific
that?
questions.
Yeah,
remember?
right.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Okay, right. Well, what I was going to ask you was, when you were working on the script with Katie DePaul, I was wondering, did you specifically write the script for Goldie? I mean, did you kind of try to make it in her voice, or was it a case of kind of broad?
Katie wrote the script and then my sister and I rewrote it completely with picturing Goldie.
Yeah.
We tried to tailor it to her so she would say yes.
For you, I mean, because when I was watching it, it kind of reminded me of like Foul Play and Overboard, like those kind of action comedies you did
That's
in
a huge
the 80s.
compliment.
It really was. I'm just wondering, I mean, was that part of it? What made you sign on?
No, I think I wanted to work with Amy, and I thought it was a funny comedy, and I thought we'd be a good team. And for me to come back after all these years, I really needed to be something that I felt was, going to be great and fun to do and funny,
Yeah.
Now, Overboard, in terms of the style and the tone of the movie.
Sure, yeah.
Probably more like Foul Play, if you will,
Yeah. Do you see yourself kind of coming back more now that you've done this? Now that you kind of dipped the toe back in?
I would love to. It all depends on if it happens or not,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things, you're gone for 15 years, you get to go and you do another movie and it's great. Does it mean you're back? I mean, if there's a really cool movie that comes along and really fun, definitely.
Yeah.
TV series we're working on now. Actually, I have a movie that I wrote that, I'm going to start looking at making now.
Cool.
So, I don't want to get back into the production world, but there's a part of me that really is a producer.
Yeah.
It's very hard not to, but it's a hell of a job, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus.
not my favorite job.
Okay, favorite Goldie Hawn movie?
Oh, I would say Overboard.
Yeah?
I mean, yeah, it's just...
Not Private Benjamin, no? Or
I love Private Benjamin. I just watched Sugarland Express, which was... I had like a Goldie marathon because there were a couple from 70s I hadn't seen. But, I mean, I just love watching her on camera.
Okay. Favorite, I suppose, Inside Amy Schumer sketch? Or did you watch it?
I don't. I have to be, really honest because she knows, I don't watch much TV.
Right.
So I can't answer that question.
It's hurtful.
you
it
find-
just really hurts, Goldie.
I should go back and look at them.
Please watch every single one.
I should go back and look at them.
Okay,
But
I have
that's
to
a
leave it
good question, and
Thank you.
gets me thinking.
Yeah, you better
You
go.
should.
No. You got it.
there. Okay. Are we cool? Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Lloyd, great interview.
Thank you.
You had the crack with the lads.
Yeah.
Only Irish outlet to get it. What was it like meeting Goldie Hawn? She's like, hasn't made a
She's-
film in 15 years or something?
15 years she was off the boil, yeah, and she was very open about it. Like she was like, look, I was kind of
Goldie
happy.
Hawn doesn't give a shit. She's
That's
Goldie Hawn.
That's exactly it. She was
Yeah.
really like, you know what? I just didn't want to work. I wasn't arsed.
Yeah.
Why would I bother? Kind of thing. And she was, as you saw in the interview, like she was very much like, no, I read this script and I thought it was worth doing, and that's why I came back. And it is, as you heard in the interview, like it is very, for me anyway. I was watching it. It made me think of like Foul Play and Overboard and Bird on a Wire, all these like action comedies that she did in the 80s that she really ruled. Like, I mean, she really was the defining actress for
Depp
action.
becomes her. in the
Yeah,
early
Depp
90s.
becomes her.
She's so good in Depp becomes her. She's a great comedy actress.
She's so, and like it's the best. I tell you, right, one of the funniest Oscar speeches I've ever seen is when her and Kurt Russell came up to give away one of the Oscars, and like he cracked this joke about the fact that they weren't married, and just Google it, YouTube it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Goldie Hawn,
We'll post it below.
post it below. It's so funny, like, and she's just a perfect comedy timing. I think that's the thing about her. She's like perfect comedy timing.
Okay, that said,
Yeah.
this isn't very good. It's
Fair
not
enough,
very good.
right.
I was a huge fan of Trainwreck. I really like Trainwreck. I think Amy Schumer is extremely talented. I saw in the Comedy Cellar, she came in into 15-20 minutes in the Comedy Cellar when I was in New York a few years ago. She was brilliant. She's a very funny woman. I love the Amy Schumer show on Comedy Central. I think some of the writing is so sharp and just like generally hilarious. For me in this, Brian, now tell me we disagree with me or not. I felt like she was improvising some scenes.
Yeah.
And Goldie Hawn looked lost.
Yeah, that's definitely
Goldie Hawn was
true.
like, I was kind of looking at her as if to say, what are we doing
Yeah.
here? So it seemed like an idea, an execution. An execution didn't quite work, but that was a kind of a good idea. Let's have Amy Schumer be Goldie Hawn's daughter.
Goldie Hawn's daughter, yeah, it's a passing of the torch kind of thing. Yeah, definitely, yeah. You're right. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I do think that Amy Schumer, a lot of her kind of comedy setups kind of do come from just her spitballing.
And that can be great.
And
Will
that
Ferrell
can work.
does it, you know, with Will Ferrell, a very similar start to his career as well. Steve Carell, Seth Rogen, all of these guys. Kristen Wiig, Bridesmaids. That can work.
Yeah, because like improv acting is a very, very specific talent. You either have it or you don't. You know, that kind of way. And Goldie Hawn does not come from that school at all. Goldie Hawn comes from very much scripted comedy. This is what's happening in this scene. Deliver this line with this inclination, with this intonation. Blah 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 blah. And there's no room for kind of spitballing it, like, you know, the kind of the way that Amy Schumer does it. So yeah, putting the two together.
Amy Schumer's first movies as a star was with Judd Apatow.
Exactly. Yeah.
What did you think of Trainwreck, Dee?
I haven't seen.
You haven't seen Trainwreck?
Admittedly, no.
And that was one of those films. I think that Apatow was doing the same thing that he'd done with Carell and that he'd done with Rogen, where he was shepherding somebody by directing and I think co-writing. But he's obviously very much from that spitballing background as
Exactly,
well.
yeah.
We've thrown stuff out there, and you need to be able to
just
go
see
with
what
it.
works, yeah. And like but having said that though, I enjoyed it. Like I really, well, not really enjoyed it, but like I laughed. And you were always saying like the qualifier you need of a
That's
good
very
comedy
true, yeah.
is that if it makes you laugh, then it's good.
Yeah.
And this did make me laugh. I mean, there were parts of it, like the whale cum bit, like just cracked me up.
The guy who plays her brother as well, who's in Neighbours,
Barinholtz.
Ike Barinholtz, he's just funny, and
Yeah.
that guy is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Plays her brother, and those scenes I thought were the strongest scenes in the movie because those two guys are obviously on the same kind of comedic level, probably in terms of age and stuff as well, and they can bounce off each other.
And exactly, and that's it. When it works,
Mama,
it works.
Mama, I keep telling you, Mama.
Mama.
Which is a strange thing that they did. I thought worked really
But
well.
that's it. But that's what I'm saying.
That
Yeah.
could have been written. That could have been in the script. We don't know, but I just thought it was really funny.
It works, and that's the thing, you see, because the two of them are really good bouncing off each other, whereas with Schumer and Hawn, you're right.
Maybe that's the point. Maybe it's the point that the mom kind of should look lost.
Yeah.
Goldie Hawn should look lost.
Possibly, yeah.
You know?
But-
for me, it just...
Did do nothing for you.
No.
Did you like Overboard though?
Oh yeah, I love Overboard.
And did
Overboard
you
original- I mean, I'm not sure what the remake's going to be. I love Goldie Hawn. This isn't the thing about... No, I love Goldie
I know,
Hawn.
it's just, but like, yeah, but it is
Sergeant Benjamin, man.
Private Benjamin.
Private Benjamin, whatever.
But like,
I
no,
promoted her.
but you know, like, yeah, but there is a thing of like people do kind of look down through their noses at Goldie Hawn comedies.
Really?
Yeah, people do. Yeah, people do.
Screw down, Brian.
Yeah, screw them.
down. Anyway, I thought it was okay.
It is okay.
Moments.
Yeah, I think I gave it 3 stars. Like it's grand. Like it's funny in parts.
Forgettable as soon as you kind of leave the cinema.
Exactly. You
one of
walk
those
out
as
the
well.
cinema and you'll have forgotten all about it.
Okay, so if you want to win tickets, guys, to any audience cinema in the country, all you have to do is tell us who Goldie Hawn's extremely famous daughter is. I think she's like a fitness guru or something like that now. She
that what
doesn't
she's doing
she
now,
doesn't need to
actually?
make so much movies, although she's in one of Mark Wahlberg's last blue collar fixed stuff blown up movies. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. But
Contraband or something, was
it
it?
wasn't contraband, it was something else. We're giving away way too much. Like, people can't just Google this and then put her name below. Okay, let's move on to a little bit of movie news, guys. They're a bit ambitious, I think, with this, because they're already, Patty Jenkins is already talking about a sequel to Wonder Woman. First film hasn't come out yet. We haven't heard a huge amount in terms of any of the DC movies that have come out. We haven't heard a huge amount about buzz. What do you think about this kind of, you know, is it posturing a little bit, saying that Wonder Woman 2 is going to happen before the first one comes out?
I don't think so necessarily. I mean, there have been plans for sequels before movies, you know, come out before, you know.
To kind of say, look, this is going to be super successful.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it is to build up like momentum and excitement about it and everything.
Because Patty Jenkins is calling it Wonder Woman 1.
Yes.
So that's what she's
yeah,
she's been quoted as saying.
And then it was the producer was Zack Snyder, you know, kind of superhero, you know, total.
Yeah, made
producer
Batman versus
professional,
Superman,
yes.
Watchmen, yeah.
Yeah, so he knows what he's talking about. He was the one who said that Wonder Woman 2 is going to happen. But then Deborah Snyder was saying, well, first there's going to be Batgirl. So basically, if it does happen, it is going to be further down the line. But I mean, you know, there have been so many plans for like, you know, sequels and franchises before. Like, look at Assassin's Creed. I don't think it's going to happen. Probably not King Arthur now. So, I mean, I'd be a bit apprehensive about the news that there is going to be a sequel to Wonder Woman 2.
Especially when this is Warner Brothers and whatever about, you know, shared budgets and stuff with production companies or these bigger distributors. King Arthur's lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
So is that going to affect them, Brian? Do you think
Down
how much
the
money
line.
Warner Brothers have to spend on these films, or is that?
I think it's definitely going to give them pause.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's definitely. I don't think it's not going to have a huge, massive ripple effect on Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
It's not, 'cause it's Warner Brothers. It's the monolith. Like, they won't be going anywhere. But you're right. I do think it will probably make them a bit more kind of gun shy about kicking off new franchises and stuff like that. Because that's it. You have to remember, like, King Arthur, they were really expecting this to do well, and for it to become
They
this
would have known
thing.
for about a year, though, that it wasn't going, I would say. Given we were talking about the reshoots and stuff, they would have had a fair idea.
Possibly.
In terms of track, and I don't think they're expecting to do as badly as it did.
Yeah.
But still. Okay, so they don't have a director for the Flash movie. They've had 2 directors pull out, obviously in the DC shared universe as well. 3 names have been booted around now. They seem to be going higher caliber in terms of the directors or the more established directors that they're putting in place for these movies, as you've seen with people linked to Suicide Squad 2, Mel Gibson's and stuff of this world.
Yeah.
Just names you wouldn't have associated, and Guy Ritchie as well. Now that we're talking about it, Matthew Vaughn, Guy Ritchie are both being linked. As is Sam Raimi. With the Flash.
Yeah.
Are any of those names realistic? Brian?
Robert Zemeckis.
Robert Zemeckis. Sorry,
Yeah,
Robert Zemeckis. He's the main one. Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I think whatever about Guy Ritchie, his He's done now. He'll be in movie jail.
Well, he's got Aladdin coming out.
Yeah, because he signed on to that
really
before.
don't want to see it.
Yeah, are
you worried about
version
Aladdin
of
now?
Aladdin? No, and after seeing what he does with special effects in King Arthur, I'm really not feeling.
Do you think
happy
Disney might be
about
getting?
this.
They might.
Yeah,
And
might.
they're talking about unknowns for Aladdin and Jasmine. I don't know. I think it's going to be a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we diverge.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Zemeckis, Sam Raimi, Matthew Vaughn.
They're all really strong names. They are, and finally, I think Warner Brothers have kind of cottoned on to the fact that you can't just throw directors in at the deep end
You need
untested.
to let them develop these movies.
Yeah, you've got to give directors with a strong kind of vision for
They got Josh Whedon doing Batgirl,
exactly and stuff like that.
James
so
Wan doing Aquaman. Yeah.
I could see Robert Zemeckis doing it. I don't like. I mean, he hasn't like the
The
last
schedule, I think, is the only thing that
would be the only thing.
right.
Sam Raimi, possibly. I mean, he already did Spider-Man and stuff like that. So, and he doesn't need to work. Do you know that kind of way? So the only person who I could see would be a viable option would either be Guy Ritchie if they let him out, if they decide to give him something off the back of how badly King Arthur did.
He's made a lot of movies for Warner Brothers.
He has, but like
Sherlock Holmes movies did really well.
They did really well, yeah. But this is like King Arthur is a big black mark against his name.
Yeah.
It is a big black mark against his name. So
And The Man from U.N.C.L.E. didn't do particularly
Yeah,
well
Did
either.
great
exactly,
either,
so,
yeah.
But I think probably had about half the budget.
yeah.
So who would you like to see out of three names there tackle the Flash? Because it's kind of a Roy character as well, isn't it?
I'd hope for Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah. What
I
about
would
you?
hope
Dave?
for Robert
Yeah,
Zemeckis.
I'd pick two. I'd pick Robert Zemeckis, and his last movie was Allied, which remember
Yes.
I liked.
You liked-
Yeah.
But I liked it, so I think he still got it. And I would like to see Sam Raimi do it because you know what? I still love the original
Yeah.
Spider-Man trilogy. I still think that they're the best trilogy of superhero movies that have been.
The second
made
one's
so
a
far,
great
you
film.
know?
The second was a
Yeah.
genuinely great superhero movie, and those
Yeah.
movies just hit at the right time as well. Especially the first one after 9/11, and nobody's seen Tobey Maguire in a movie like that before, and it kind of collectively seemed to bring New York together. As it were, I suppose.
It was a
You
really
know-
nice. Yeah, it was really well done. Yeah.
And he knows how to do superhero movies.
He
It
does,
just shows,
yeah.
you know?
He's a very interesting director, and he has been for a few decades at this point. Okay, this one looks interesting. The trailer of the week we're going to talk about now is Battle of the Sexes,
Yeah.
based on a true story. These two guys in a film together I know they've been in a film together before. They were in Crazy Stupid Love, but in a kind of a serious movie together, it just screams Oscars to me. This just looks like it's Emma Stone, it's Steve Carell, D. What was your reaction to the trailer?
Positive, yeah. I thought it looked like it really gets the balance between like drama and comedy really well. It's from the directors of Little Miss Sunshine and Ruby Sparks as well, and I think that those are two great movies,
Tonally
especially
perfect
Little
movies, yeah.
Miss Sunshine, exactly. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think that they're both like fantastic actors. I especially was really impressed with Steve Carell after The Big Short. I have to say that kind of put him on another level for me. So I'm really excited to see it.
Foxcatcher, for an Oscar for Foxcatcher.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant actually. Yeah, that was a dark role, and he nailed it.
Yeah,
That was
he's
real
playing another
fantastic.
real life character here too, Brian.
Yeah.
Somebody who's obviously known for the comedy stuff, Brick, and did the Daily
Yeah.
Show and The Office and stuff before.
Yeah.
Steve Carell, is he going all in on the serious
He
stuff
does,
now?
yeah. He seems to be there seems to be kind of shades of like the US Office, like Michael Scott from the character. I got from
He's
the
just
trailer.
misogynistic.
Just
yeah.
misogynistic and just a real clown, and just really kind of has no kind of like concept of like social graces or anything like that, you know. But it's interesting because if you ever actually have you read up on like the real story behind it? It's fascinating. Like it's really cool. Like Billie King was this really respected tennis player.
She's
and
an
she was
icon. Yeah.
icon, like really breaking boundaries and stuff like this. And this other guy was just this washed up nothing basically, but he felt that he could knock her out because he was a man and stuff.
He could
like
beat
that.
her in a tennis match.
Yeah, that he could beat her in a tennis match and stuff like that. So it's a really interesting concept, and it's still very relevant to this day, you know. And the fact that Battle of the Sexes is directed by a man and a woman is going to be interesting.
Yeah,
as
it
well.
adds a certain.
Yeah, it
dynamic
adds
to
something to it. Yeah, but the poster for it as well, I thought looked really cool. It's literally just like a tennis ball with a bomb thing coming out.
Well, Emma Stone coming off the back of winning an Oscar for La La Land as well. Steve Carell, has really gotten that kind of dramatic gravitas.
Yeah.
From the Oscar nominations, and like you were saying, he was so good in The Big Short. He really was a highlight in that for me as well.
There's a great line in this in the trailer actually. He says, "I'm going to put the show back in chauvinism," which I think is brilliant. I'm looking forward to more of those
one-liners. That's going to be on the poster. It's going to piss everybody off.
Yeah.
All right, next week, the sequel nobody asked for, but the last one made a bunch of money. Orlando Bloom is back apparently, although he's not in the trailer.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean 5, lads. Are we looking forward to it?
I've heard it's the best since the first, which brings up my
The
hope.
first
'cause
isn't
I
that
didn't
great.
like.
Yeah.
No,
first is not that great.
No, the first is a classic. It's like action adventure classic.
Look,
don't
Johnny
diss the
Depp needs to
first.
get that 30 grand a month for the wine.
Oh yeah, for the wine and for the thing in his ear. I've seen it already. Obviously, I'm embargoed, but I was looking out for the earpiece to see if I could see it. Anyway.
I'll see if he was getting fed his lines.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you want to win the tickets to the Odeon, any Odeon cinema in Ireland, the question is, who is Goldie Hawn's super famous daughter in a bunch of romantic comedies with Matthew McConaughey in the noughties? You're probably just Googling it now anyway, but let us know and we will pick a winner for those tickets on Monday afternoon and tag the person below. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. We'll see you next Thursday at 9 p.m. right here.